Here we are on Clothesline, the show where we wring them clean, string them up and put them to dry on the clothesline. This month, the Lok Sabha convened its monsoon session. High on the agenda was the issue of price rise. Price rise has been a nightmare for the common person, but for one man, it was the stuff of dreams. No, I mean literally dreams. Before you judge him, spare a thought for all the hard work he put in to ensure the BJP managed a crushing victory in the elections. After that Herculean effort, can you truly grudge him his 40 wings? Now, napping is a fairly simple act, right? Wrong! So Times now decided to do a minute-by-minute account of the circumstances leading to the alleged snooze.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what everyone in the country is talking about. Video footage of Rahul Gandhi dozing off in the Lok Sabha during a debate on price rise. It happens between 12:32 and about 1:02, goes viral on the social media. The Congress vice president, seen in different shots, is seen with closed eyes, head tilting to the right, tries very hard to be awake.
That arrow we see is essential. It shows us that the discussion was going over Rahul's head.
No, that's not correct, Madhu. That arrow is to tell us the direction in which Rahul's head is nodding. That's like that.
Of course, because that is crucial to the investigation. Because it tells us whether Rahul is a left-brain man or a right-brain man.
No, well, after the election, we know his brain isn't right. But we'll have to check with what's left.
I thought Times Now's diagrams were supposed to simplify things. Clearly, Rahul's latest gaffe didn't sit well with Mama, because Mama said, "Mamma mia, what a nimbu pani! What are you doing, Rahul?" Because just the next day at the budget session...
Madhu, the Italian accent part is over. Get out of character.
Oh, okay, all right.
With the above estimates, the fiscal deficit of 4.5% of GDP, MY solar parks on the banks of canals, implementation of green energy corridor projects around the specific themes, and set aside rupees 500 crores for this purpose. I am providing a sum of...
News channels were hungry for panelists all through budget day. In fact, they couldn't get panelists on air fast enough.
Now we have the Union Minister Prakash Javadekar joining us. Mr. Javadekar, in this budget with Arun Jaitley giving it a clear signal that prudence is first.
If Times now jumped the gun in cutting to Prakash Javadekar, another BJP minister, Nirmala Sitharaman, was left fuming after Zee News, living up to its reputation of honest news, conducted a one-to-one interview and, unknown to her, stuck that one-to-one footage in a panel discussion instead. We don't have that footage because Zee is clever and don't put their discussions online so that they have a plausible deniability. But there's still Twitter and us, because hamare jasoos charo taraf phaile hue hain. You guys, right? Shocked to see me as a part of Zee Business panel was a one-on-one with anchor which has been cut and pasted into panel discussion. Had I only known there were panelists raising important issues on Zee Business, I would have answered. Feel like I've been denied the opportunity. The things an anchor has to do to get the panel he or she wants, we completely understand the feeling. So News Laundry brings you our exclusive dream panel discussion. We don't call this super prime time, we call this supersonic, automatic, rocket launch prime time. Joining us today is noted Gandhian, not the Bapu Gandhian, the Sonia Gandhian, Mani Shankar Iyer, secular scholar Subramaniam Swamy, and in a first ever appearance on a News Laundry panel discussion, Arnab Goswami himself to discuss the National Herald scam. So Mani, isn't it true that Sonia and Rahul Gandhi own 76% of the National Herald?
So bloody what? Again you're being stupid.
As a matter of principle, I don't allow that kind of language on the program.
Here I would like to get Swami's views, because he's an expert on Naxalism. Is Arnab a Naxal or a Maoist? And is Mani left-leaning, left-inclined, or just left out?
Oh, those Naxalites. I always call them Naxalites, those kind of words.
Arnab, did you get the email I sent you where I told you I love you?
Take it back, we'll continue.
How can I take an email back?
We'll continue.
Impossible.
You take it back, I will continue.
How can I?
Take it back, we'll continue.
How can you take an email back?
You take it back, I will continue.
How? What's wrong with you?
Okay.
Arnab, how can I take it back?
Lower your
I
voice,
can't take it back.
or I'll have to lower your volume.
You tell me how to take an email back.
Lower your voice
or
I'll lower your volume. Okay, cut it.
As the budget madness drew to a close, so did Times Now's special show on it. But while Times Now may be fastest with the news, They are not fastest when it comes to turning off the audio fader or their guests' mics because Lord Meghnad Desai was heard by all viewers as the show wound up saying, "What a bloody waste of time." Unfortunately for us and you, Times now have chosen not to upload the video. Come on, Arnab, upload it. While news channels were filling their budget discussion panels to the brim with politicians and other influential people, we noticed something else about the budget discussions, that the farmers were not represented on any of the major channels. A budget of the 5%, for the 5%, and discussed only by the 5%, guys? Yet ads aimed at farmers doing hardcore kheti-bari in rural India find space on these English news channels because, of course, farmers in the heartland are watching them. However, we have no such luck in getting that kind of ad revenue at News Laundry, which is why we need you to pay to keep news free. Thanks for all your support so far. Keep it coming.
अक्सर आपने लोगों को ये कहते सुना होगा कि यार why can't India be like other advanced developed countries? हम आधुनिक देशों की तरह क्यों नहीं हो सकते? वहाँ की जो involvement होती है, responsibility होती है, awareness होती है, why can't we be like that? I'll give you an example of a news website called Dear Correspondent in the Netherlands. They raised $1.3 million from the public. It was a crowdsourced model. लोगों ने पैसे दिए उन्हें, and they completely changed the dynamic of who the news media is responsible to. We at News Laundry want to try the same model. When the public pays for news, the news media is responsible to the public. So will you support News Laundry and pay for it? Because then we will ensure anyone who makes a wrong move pays for it. Friend or foe. And yes, that goes for Arvind Kejriwal and Aam Aadmi Party too, for the most suspicious and cynical among you. So tell me, will you pay to keep news free?
The union budget session was certainly a red-letter day for the BJP, but there was another. Amit Shah replaced Rajnath Singh as the new party president, and news media decided to jump on the most obvious pun possible.
The new Shah of the BJP, Amit Shah.
इस वक्त की जो बड़ी खबर है, अमित शाह बन गए हैं बीजेपी के शहंशाह.
अमित शाह आज बीजेपी के बादशाह बनेंगे.
So original, guys. We're just picturing editors watching the battle for the BJP's top post and praying Amit Shah would win just so they could bust out that pun. On ET Now, however, there was one journalist who decided that rather than repeat what everyone else was saying, might as well just repeat yourself.
These are footages of Mr. Amit Shah being crowned as the new BJP president. Some comments from Rajnath Singh as well. And that is, of course, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Home Minister Rajnath Singh officially coronating Amit Shah as the new BJP president. I believe the writing was on the wall. I don't think too many people doubted this. Sure enough, there was a bit of to and fro the last few days. But now clearly, Amit Shah being crowned as the new BJP president. And those are some comments from Rajnath Singh as well, with immediate effect, incidentally. And he's seeking blessings of all the key people in the Bharatiya Janata Party. But that's Amit Shah being coronated as the BJP president. I'm using the term coronated on purpose, by the way. But yes, he's now the new BJP president, Amit Shah.
As it is, these people in power behave like they're kings. Now you're giving them even more power by saying coronate, coronate, coronate repeatedly. Cut it out! That's what happens when you're given a one-line brief and asked to fill a whole minute of news with it. ET Now managed to stay away from punning on Shah, and so did their sister channel Times Now, because in Arnab's world, there's no room for kings.
Royalty is dead in India. That's the point I'm saying to you today. Royalty has died. And there is no new royalty.
Except for Arnab himself. We've talked before about the court of Arnab, but how do things work in the Sharia court of Arnab?
Arnab, you should give a fatwa for them to keep quiet while I'm speaking.
Well, let him speak.
Yes, we will all accept. Okay, thank you. Mufti.
Have we discovered yet another one of Arnab's aftars? On a more serious note, the Supreme Court's recent verdict that decreed Islamic courts have no legal sanctity raised a furor. But we'd like to walk you through some of the most important, life-changing fatwas issued by various Islamic courts. Can't imagine why the Supreme Court stepped in when the fatwas can handle it all and fix all society's problems.
Faltu fatwas.
Many will explain that fatwas are not compulsory. They are simply opinions. Yet, many take them as diktats to be followed literally. like the one issued by a Muslim panchayat which stated that a young woman should marry her father-in-law since he raped her. Logical, isn't it? A fatwa was issued in Egypt stating that women should not eat bananas because they resemble a certain part of the male anatomy. Her husband has to cut it up in small pieces, then give it to her. Logical. Perhaps they didn't consider what has to be going through this suppressed, bullied woman's mind as she watches this anatomically similar fruit being cut in small pieces. Basically, bobbatized bananas are edible. What about gay men? I think they should ask their mothers to cut it up. India's premier Islamic seminary, the Darul Uloom Deoband, issued a fatwa against cartoons. Why? Because cartoons make a mockery of God's creations. Dear Deoband, with fatwas like this, you make a mockery of God's creations more than any cartoon ever will. Oh, the irony. Who is the cartoon here? Women's security also ranks high on the Deoband's list of priorities, and so they issued a fatwa against girls over the age of 13 riding bicycles because it leads to undue exposure. Great idea. Now, Muslim women over 13 are safe to use public transport where they can get groped and leched at by sweaty men in crowded public buses instead. Wah! Logical. Then there's the fatwa on blood donation. Once again, the Deoband ruled this is an un-Islamic practice because we are not the owners of our own bodies. Logical. Why save another human life by donating blood? God definitely wouldn't want that. Logical. The highest rate of polio is in Islamic countries because a fatwa was issued against the polio vaccine. Watch your child get polio. Now that's logical. There was a fatwa against a wonderful spirited rock group in Kashmir. The girls were banned from singing and people from listening. What could be more logical? They should have extended the ban to Abida Praveen and to the late Begum Akhtar and Iqbal Banu, albeit posthumously. Music, one pure element in our lives that crosses the barriers of religion, caste and creed, absolutely must be banned because it makes people happy. Logical. Sania Mirza was also criticized by a top cleric of the Sunni Ulema board for wearing short skirts while playing tennis. Sania is a devout practicing Muslim and she told them to go fly a kite while her skirts only got shorter. Now that's a role model. Still wondering why the Supreme Court stepped in? Okay. Enough about fatwas. We at News Laundry have decided to issue fatwas when we want to tell someone, dude, what the fuck were you doing? And this week's fatwa goes to Ved Pratap Vedik. Dude, what the fuck were you doing? The World Cup ended on the 14th, but in case you were worried about boredom or withdrawal symptoms hitting you after the final, you need not have been. Ye hai na? They ensured that the Argentina versus Germany final was not nearly as aggressive as Arnab versus Vedik.
Don't keep shouting. If you don't have an answer, you can say, I don't have an answer. But don't shout like that. Just don't shout. Don't shout anymore. I have taken enough from you. You should be tried for sedition, Mr. Vedik. You are an Indian by nationality. You travel to Pakistan. You meet an enemy of the country. Aap desh ke dushman ko, Mr. Vedik, first of all, please lower your voice.
Clearly, Times now has learned a few tricks from the World Cup programming because for those who couldn't watch the full match, they aired the highlights later. There was a lot of shouting and interrupting on the news hour. But was Mr. Vedik listening? No. Not because he didn't want to either, but because his earpiece fell out and he didn't care.
Mr. Vedik, my question to you is that I have a clip of your interview. Calm down. You met Hafiz Saeed. You've been caught red-handed. You've been caught red-handed meeting Hafiz Saeed. You have been caught red-handed meeting Hafiz Saeed, and there is no need to be aggressive with me on television, Mr. Vedik. I think what you've done is absolutely wrong. I have great reverence for your age, but you've gone and met a killer.
Arnab, you're not talking to Vedik. You're only talking to the nation. His earpiece has fallen out and he doesn't care. Luckily, there was a very well-manicured hand that kept entering the frame to stick his earpiece back into his head. Vedik, you too? But it wasn't just on Times now. Vedik was on every channel, not listening to anyone and telling us everything about himself. Because before this, it was Vedik who?
Mr. Manmohan Singh is one of my closest family friends. High commissioners are dependent on me. They used to call me virtual foreign minister.
Have you read my interview with Prime Minister Babrak Karmal?
Prime ministers of the all South Asian countries know me personally. They come to my home. Ambassadors have been accompanying me. I have been the editor of the largest newspaper. मैं प्रोफेसर रहा हूँ. Jawaharlal Nehru University में
I take your point.
People have been interviewing me in the newspapers and on the television channels. Millions of people know me. I have been the editor of the best news agency in this country for several years. माओवादियों से बात की है, उनको इंटरव्यू किया है, LTT वालों से बात की है, प्रभाकरन से बात की है, उमा महेश्वरन से बात की है, जो प्रभाकरन से भी ज्यादा डेंजरस था.
Now you know who Vedik is. NDTV tried to make this a serious discussion with Barkha anchoring a genteel panel who it seemed were dying to laugh at Vedik's bombast but restrained themselves. Arnab though showed no restraint or mercy as he and Vedik made sure Zuriga's tackle on Neymar was not the most violent tackle we saw on TV in the last few weeks.
Displaying your incompetence.
Mr. Vedik, you are displaying your nervousness. You have been caught red-handed. You should explain to the people of this country, Mr. Vedik, why your passport should not be cancelled and why you should not be arrested under the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. I'm asking you today, Mr. Vedik. Mr. Vedik, I'm asking you today because I think that you are in the dock today.
I'm not going to listen to you unless you listen to my answer. I'm not going to listen to you.
Mr. Vedik, don't have to lose your temper. You've done something wrong.
Arnab, shut up. You are a junior journalist.
Senior journalist, junior journalist. What is this? High school? I've never got this senior, junior journalist. A journalist is a journalist, and that's it. Headlines today tried to ride the Vedic wave as well, but Rahul's show was neither the Thrill-a-Minute Arnab format, nor the let's try to make sense of this Barkha format. So it didn't work. We would like to give Mr. Vedik, senior journalist, scholar, youngest editor, etc., blah, 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 a bravery award for taking every kind of attack from every possible position in one night, and the award for the most suave dig at him, which Mr. Vedik did not even notice, goes to K.C. Singh, who after Vedik gave the panel the lowdown of his speech to Hafiz Saeed, asked him this on Barkha's show on NDTV.
जब उसने मुझसे पूछा, नरेंद्र मोदी के बारे में पूछा, तो मैंने उसको बताया कि नरेंद्र मोदी ने अपने चुनाव अभियान के दौरान एक शब्द भी मुसलमानों के खिलाफ नहीं बोला, एक शब्द भी पाकिस्तानों के खिलाफ नहीं. ये दोनों होता है. ये जो कह रहे हैं बड़ा, जिसने भी ये कहा है बिल्कुल ठीक है.
वैदिक साहब एक सवाल.
वैदिक
जी एक सेकंड, वो आपकी इंटरव्यू ले रहा था या आप उसकी इंटरव्यू ले रहे थे?
Which has got to remind you of that famous Sher da Putter joke. कि भाई शेर कर आया सी के. Okay. After all the hostility and abuse he faced everywhere else, Vedik seemed almost relaxed on NDTV. But he tried a little too hard to deflect the attention off himself and push it onto Barkha. Because when you're being attacked for being anti-national, pushing the spotlight onto those considered pseudo-secular is a good strategy.
आप स्वयं इतनी लोकप्रिय पत्रकार हैं पाकिस्तान में. मैंने देखा है सेमिनार के बाद दूसरे दिन सुबह ब्रेकफास्ट मीटिंग में कितने लोग आपसे मिलने के लिए आए. उनमें से कुछ मेरे भी दोस्त थे. ये आपके बहुत दोस्त हैं. उनसे कहिए कि हाफिज सईद से पूछें.
मैं नहीं मिलना चाहती.
डॉक्टर वैदिक से क्यों मिले?
अच्छा ठीक है, मैं नहीं मिलना चाहती.
आप मत मिलिए.
वैदिक जी, बरखा बच्ची नहीं है. She won't let you get out of the spotlight so easily. She won't try to hold you there and clobber you like Arnab, but she has her own maneuvers handy. So this week, Ved Pratap Vedik gets a What the Fatwa You Were Doing award. Write in and tell us who you think should get our next week's Fatwa. Then there was the curious case of the crashed Lamborghini. The Times of India reported that a Lamborghini Gallardo Spider was crashed by a valet into the wall of a hotel this past week. The story gives us details about the accident, but just after informing us about the car's owner, things suddenly take a turn for the advertorial, and I quote, "The Lamborghini Gallardo Spider is no ordinary car. The sports car is Lamborghini's best-selling model with 14,022 custom built for customers desirous of its appeal. Named after a famous breed of fighting bull, the V10 Gallardo has been Lamborghini's sales leader." You can get all this from an advertisement or from an article in the Times of India.
Madhu, there's a call for you on your crapper iPhone with 200 GB hard disk, 24-day battery life and a holographic projector.
Oh, tell them I'll call them back from my Samsung Universal 6 phone with satellite mapping technology, built-in self-defense system and a 1 TB RAM.
Ding, ding, ding,
dum. Times of India, considering that the car crashed into a wall, common sense would dictate that the car's safety features are questioned or at least mentioned. But instead, we get a whole paragraph on what an awesome car it is. The New Sunday Express magazine took things to an explosive level of misreporting by using this image from the Oscar-winning movie The Hurt Locker and attempting to pass it off as an explosion on the streets of an Iraqi town. We wonder how they would treat other big stories.
Gang violence in Jharkhand. New lizard species discovered in Borneo. Ship sinks off Indian coast.
On NDTV's The Buck Stops Here, Subramaniam Swamy and Randeep Surjewala were invited on the show to discuss the National Herald case. Now, Subramaniam Swamy is known to be immovable when he takes a decision on anything. And Randeep Surjewala is almost impossible to stop when he's defending the Congress. So what happened when the immovable Subramaniam Swamy met the unstoppable Randeep Surjewala? Watch.
You're a born liar. Use your brains if you have any brains at all.
Okay, come on, let's stick to point, both Subramaniam Swamy and Randeep Surjewala. This is not a personal quarrel. This is not a personal fight.
And you
1 minute.
You're a moron.
Okay, come on. Dr. Swamy, let's
tell him what he says. You're brainless, he says.
For Mr. Modi.
Okay, 1 minute.
I think you should have some sense of decency and decorum.
Oh, Congressman teaching me decency.
Swamy,
okay, come on.
You were terminated
Gentlemen, come
and removed even by the Harvard University.
Subramaniam Swamy and Randeep Surjewala.
At least I have a genuine degree, not a fake degree.
We are here to discuss an issue. Let's stick to the issue.
Guys, you're not on the news hour. You're on The Buck Stops Here. But time to start carrying a whistle and a yellow card and red cards for your show. On ABP News, though, there was no one on hand to stop this happening.
तुम एंकर हो क्या? अरे भाई तुम एंकर हो क्या? आप यहाँ कविता सुनाने आए हैं? तुम्हारे बाप के नौकर हैं क्या जेटली जी? तुम्हारे बाप के नौकर हैं क्या? जेटली जी तुम्हारे बाप के नौकर हैं क्या?
एक मिनट नकवी साहब,
अरे भाई तुम्हारे बाप के नौकर हैं क्या?
नकवी साहब भाषा थोड़ा सही है, कपिल जी थोड़ा भाषा में सही है.
बाप का नौकर? Has he forgotten that the first Prime Minister of India said that he's the first servant of the people and it was an honor? That's the worst abuse. Says a lot about your mentality. The best way to go about convincing people is to get your message onto as big and trusted a platform as possible. Like what happened when Time magazine carried a pro-butter cover asking people to eat butter after 30 years of telling us not to. Is butter no longer unhealthy? Time magazine would like you to think so, and they have medical research to prove it. But then again, isn't it medical research that deemed it unhealthy in the first place? And who can trust medical research? First, they put women of my age on estrogen for a decade. After a decade, they inform us estrogen additions cause cancer. Thank you. After 10 years, coffee is bad for you, then it's good for you. Wine is bad for you, then it's good for you. After tobacco companies lobby hard enough, we will surely be informed that smoking is actually good for you. Yay! Finally, we have Aaj Tak's Manogia Loiwal, who wants to take us on a journey.
भारतीय रेल में हर रोज करोड़ों सफर करते हैं। एक ऐसा सफर जो एक जगह से दूसरी जगह तक जाने के लिए होता है। पर सच्चाई तो यह है कि क्या भाड़ा बढ़ने के बाद सुविधाओं में कोई इम्प्रूवमेंट आएगा?
Wouldn't have guessed. It's good she made that clear. We thought maybe it was a journey of self-reflection. After all, we're a very spiritual country. Thank you to Neil Ghosh for that spot. Well, that's a wrap for the week. If you saw any moments from journalism that made you go, oh wow or oh crap, write into us or tweet to us. Subscribe to our newsletter and support I Pay to Keep News Free campaign. We are the change. You are the change, for better or worse. Never do nothing. Stay connected. Stay online.